At the end of World War II, the United States was in pursuit of the use of other materials, had a war broken out, and seeming that the Cold War between the Russians and NATO were escalating, they wanted to have other materials that were available. For example, Del Amo Goodyear plant was producing artificial rubber by using chlorobenzene and other compounds to make artificial rubber. Silly Putty was actually an attempt to make artificial rubber. In this case, they wanted to make better use of aluminum, and a better way to polish aluminum must be procured. A electroplating factory on Pico Avenue in Los Angeles called O'Connor Electroplating had the answer. And it was the use of aqueous hydride and perchloric acid. As we know from the previous bedtime story, anything perchloric is extremely explosive. So, what happened was they were testing some parts that were going to be used by the military. And the refrigeration unit for the perchloric acid shut off. Perchloric acid by itself is exothermic. That means if it sits by itself unrefrigerated, it will go up to about 70-80 centigrade and then catch fire. It's a very volatile substance just by itself. But added with aqueous hydride, it is extremely unstable. The chemical mixture by itself was unstable, but then he decided to use some cellulose racks because the steel racks were getting eaten up. The person behind the project was not Mr. O'Connor himself, but a guy who claimed that he knew all about chemistry, when in fact he worked on a dairy farm before and frauded his resume. As soon as the rack with the parts that were to be polished, but with electroplating, and with the cellulose material on it, the entire rack exploded in an explosion that took out 6 city blocks. It was the worst explosion to date in Los Angeles, ever. Even the city hall called the President of the United States and called the Joint Chiefs and thought that they had a nuclear explosion on their hands, that an improvised nuclear bomb might have been dropped on Los Angeles. It was quickly deemed, because there was no radiation count, that it was not an atomic weapon. But fears ran high for a little while. A total of 10 people were killed, including the scientist and his assistant, who were never found and believed blown to smithereens, according to a newspaper article. Just understand that when you're playing with perchlorate, careful, careful, careful.